Welcome back to Sailing Jibsea. In this episode, we're showing you big time beauty, big guns, and big waves as we sail the north side of Puerto Rico, which is new to us and less commonly sailed by cruisers. Big everything. We'll be doing a huge provision in preparation for our season in the Bahamas. And of course, a sailing video wouldn't be complete without us encountering a challenge. What did he decide to do? Before we sail away from the British Virgin Islands, there are two more special spots we have to visit.
We just arrived at another one of our favorite places to dive in the BVIs, and they are the Dog Islands. This place is really cool because there's more features. Certain sections are really good for coral, but we like this one for all the cool swim-throughs and features and stuff. So let's check it out.
You guys know that next to seeing marine life, we enjoy a good swim through. There's just something about diving down and taking a little tour between these grand rock formations. We refer to places like this as an underwater playground for us. We wanted to go through the tunnel both ways, but the current and the wave chop made it difficult to do, and I realized that as soon as I dove down to the entrance of it.
Well, we decided to take off from the dogs. There just was too much surge coming in to make all of our spots accessible. Uh-oh. Whammo. So we got to do our one sweet swim through, but all the stuff around the shoreline that we really like to see, we just couldn't get to. So I guess we'll just have to save that for another time. But now we got a couple hours sail. We're gonna head around the corner here to Ghana Island. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right.
Juan Island is private and just a rest stop for us before carrying onwards. We're approaching our last stop here, Sandy Spit, and as the name suggests, it literally is just a spit of perfect white sand in beautiful turquoise waters. Obviously uninhabited, with nothing here but a couple of palms and boaters looking to enjoy a little slice of paradise. After our last sunset in the BVIs, we're crossing into US Virgin waters to get one of our propane tanks refilled. We've cruised through the USVIs before, so it's just a rest stop here before carrying on. We'll link our previous videos where we explore the USVIs up here for you to watch after.
So that's it. We're leaving the Spanish Virgin Islands, which is Calibre right now. It's about 7 in the morning. Now we got a 10-hour sail straight to San Juan. We're gonna take the north side of Puerto Rico and just try to provision and do everything we need in San Juan, and then it's a 3.5-day sail from San Juan to the Bahamas. We're just motoring right now to get past these islands. They're the winds do all sorts of crazy things cutting through them, so give our batteries a little charge, motor out maybe a half an hour or so, and then set sail. Excited. from Calibre to the corner of the northwest part of Puerto Rico. You can snuck behind all this little reef and even little islands. For a little bit at least, it's going to block that sea state that we're in. Steph likes to test her baking skills.
Yeah.
What are you making?
Strawberry oat muffins.
Nice. Well, we got a little bit of decent calmness for now, but you made all the batter and the heaviest stuff.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit nauseous.
I bet. Yummy. Thank you. Perfect timing because I was getting real hungry. Thank you.
The last time we sailed in Puerto Rico, we cruised along the southern coast, which usually has calmer seas and more sheltered anchorages for stopping points. The northeast and northern coasts of Puerto Rico usually have larger sea state due to exposure to the Atlantic swell, stronger winds, and sudden drops from deeper waters into shallower areas like what we're sailing in here. You can see exactly where the drop-offs are with the different shades of blue. As we approach the inlet of San Juan, we need to jibe, which means changing our direction while sailing downwind. We have to time this with the sea state just right as there are some big breakers that roll through. We furled in our head sail and jibed with our mainsail before motor sailing our way into the inlet. As North Americans who have missed certain foods, you can imagine how heavenly this is for us right now, especially as Canadians, where half of the stuff we see here has been banned from our grocery store shelves.
Right over there, it's also carrying 2 big milks.
As you can see, we are provisioning. We're getting ready here in Puerto Rico for our 3 months in the Bahamas. So this is round 1 of all of the stuff that we have to get to hopefully last us our 3 months there, because we definitely want to try to limit having to buy any sort of groceries in the Bahamas if we can, because we all know it's just crazy, crazy expensive. Think mainland prices times like 3, maybe even 4 these days. I don't know. We haven't been there for a couple of years, so now I don't even want to know what they are. So we could only fit a few canned things today. We didn't have a car. We just used an Uber. We focused a lot on getting a lot of UHT milk. That's all UHT milk there as well for our coffees, and all the cereal we picked up. That's just like a little treat. We don't normally have cereal. A couple of sauces, a couple of canned items, some treats, seasonings and stuff. A little bit of rice. If you've watched our Atlantic crossing prep video, then how we provision is kind of the same thing, just longer. We were provisioning for like a month. So I take that in my head, I guess, and then I times it by 3 because we want to cover at least 3 months. I kind of looked at what we ended up eating from our month provisioning and then realized that we actually didn't even eat all of that. So times by 3, it's really not a huge deal. Like, I'm not too worried. So I really do just estimate things. I put a list on my phone, household items like paper towel, shampoo and conditioner, I don't know, we needed some rubbing alcohol, stuff like that, hand soaps, detergents, all of that stuff we have on board already, so we didn't really need to get too much of that. Then I have refrigerated food, you know, butter, eggs, cream cheeses, bars of cheese, sandwich meat, and then we have our freezer food, which is mainly meats. We're going to save that to the very end because I do want to do a good thaw of the freezer before we load it back up again. We're trying to eat everything that we have in there right now, and then we'll restock it. And then I have pantry food here, which is all the dry goods. So pastas, sauces, canned foods, snacks, a separate category for baking because you guys know that I love to bake. Things like graham crackers, chocolate chips, flour, condensed milk, raisins, that sort of thing. All right, and just like that, round 1 is put away, and it doesn't even look like we bought anything. And that's good because we still got more loads to go. All right, round 2 was by foot. We just had backpacks, so we just got a few things that were light enough to carry for a big walk back. So we just noticed that...
Captain, this is the Coast Guard. I'm going to pass you our phone number.
The sailboat came in earlier this morning, and it looked like it must have been a delivery. That's what we're guessing, because there was about 4 guys that jumped off and got picked up on a skiff. And we could see that when they anchored, they didn't have very much chain, and there was a bunch of rode. So, if anything, we're guessing maybe they had 2-to-1 rode, maybe some chain out, and it's just been dragging and dragging. We're not even in very heavy winds, and they're supposed to pick up a little bit more. So we knew they weren't in a good position, and we just got back from the grocery store and we saw that they are pretty much about to hit the ferry that's tied up on the wall here. And it was anchored way ahead of the barge there, like way ahead, and he's since drifted back all the way here, about to hit this ginormous ferry. Catamaran here saw it happen as well because he had just gotten back the same time we did. He hailed the Coast Guard, and there was a lot of waiting time like in between, so it kind of went Coast Guard, sailing vessel, Coast Guard, sailing vessel, trying to explain what was going on. And during that time, the sailboat just kept drifting further and further back, so they've just gone over there. I think they were talking about maybe tying it up to the seawall if they could get some lines to tie it up there. Not sure if they want to turn it on.
So we couldn't start it, and I don't think we would have wanted to pull it off because it's kind of blowy right now, and it takes 2 people to run that boat because one has to pull the anchor and then the other would have to dinghy it up. That's because we couldn't get the boat started. So we just called the Coast Guard, and then because we're in a pretty major harbor, so I'm sure they have protocols for dealing with it.
Yeah, it's not just like
like
a random anchorage in the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's not some random anchorage. So I wouldn't want to pull it off and then just put chain, like dump, because they only have like rope, and this anchor is quite deep, and the holding isn't that good. So I'd have to let out all of the guys' rope, which I wouldn't know if I'd want to do it back here, or you know what I mean, like even if we were to pull it off.
Yeah, so just leave it to the Coast Guard. He has Buddy's phone number.
Yeah, so if I'm sure there's a harbor master too that's a small skiff or something.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's kind of stopped.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere else.
Travis.
It's resting against that rope. But that was the scariest boat I've ever been on.
Why?
I thought I was gonna fall through the decks.
Oh, really?
They were like the softest deck I've ever felt in my, like not just a part, the entire decks.
Soft or like brittle?
Soft.
Oh.
Like you'd sink like that much.
Oh.
You just go. I'm like, oh my god, I don't even want to walk on this thing. I don't want to damage anything.
Yeah.
And it's pretty big and heavy, so it need a decent boat to pull it off, and we got what, 15 knots of wind right now.
Looks like the Coast Guard was able to make contact with the owners to have the sailboat moved. It's an insanely busy port here, and each day a new cruise ship or ferry docks what feels like within an arm's reach from us. And we've been eager to leave, but we had to wait on a very important package.
Let's hope that's it.
Travis's handiness is a blessing and a curse, I guess. Because after our first provisioning, we were all ready to load up the freezer. I had defrosted it, we had dried it out and everything. We were ready to turn it on and then do our next provision run for all of our frozen meats. Just as we were about to turn it on, what did he decide to do?
So this little coil I thought was, I couldn't see it properly, and I thought it was just a wire, like that would read temperature. So I snipped it, because I was like, let's take some excess off and run it right to the plate from there. But there's a gas inside this little tube, and when you don't have the gas inside the tube, it doesn't work.
I mean, it was a good thing that we hadn't yet got all of our meats and stuff. We were literally just about to go out to do that. But we did miss our first weather window because we had to order another thermostat in. So hopefully we'll be able to leave here tomorrow. We'll get that thing working, hop back out and do another run, and then be good to go to leave tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Oh, it's on. But we'll see how efficient, I guess, it is.
I can hear it working. Fun part is trying to figure out where to put all our pasta. Normally we would double bag these, but there's just too many of them and the bags probably wouldn't fit. So we're just leaving these here, hoping that they'll be free of weevils. And we're going up north. I don't know. I hope it's okay. Anyways, these will probably get eaten before anything happens to them, hopefully, but they go all the way back there. It's going to be trying to find space for everything. And that's going to be our little pasta corner. Good old game of Tetris. Things are getting pretty packed, but we've still got some room, I think. Loaded up stuff down here as well. Got all the pasta in. Cram some stuff back there. While we wait for the freezer to get cold enough that we trust the new thermostat, we're doing a fuel run to top off all of our jerry cans. When we got back, it seemed like the freezer was good to go, so we're heading to the grocery store again to pick up all our refrigerated and frozen foods. Lots of stuff here.
This stuff is heavy. So we got space in the freezer.
We see a decent weather window to leave tomorrow, so we're heading back to Jibsea to unload all of this, and then we'll head out one more time before the stores close to pick up our fresh produce. Run number 5. Now we're just breaking down all of the meat, individualizing, like portionalizing them.
Wasting more plastic.
Then we put them in here. That. Yeah. I mean, we could get a shrink wrap machine, but this works. And we can always find saran wrap. We've got everything that we need, and we're good to pick up anchor and head on out. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and join us next week where we'll be offshore for 3 days making our way to the Bahamas. We've been so excited to return to our favorite cruising grounds, and it's finally happening.